day. Obviously, some really hard-fought points out there, very tough conditions, but tied 8-8 going into the final day, as we were in Ireland. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, probably we're actually, as a team, slightly chirpier tonight. At one point this afternoon, it looked as though could potentially go 4-0 or 3-1 was going to look good for us. So, to get in at the 2.5, 1.5 ended up being good for us. I mean, that fight back from Georgia and Celine was great. Caro, she's devastated she missed that putt in 18, but she hit a good putt, just a little firm maybe. But, to be honest, we're really pretty pleased.
It looked pretty nerve-wracking out there at times. What was going through your mind when you stood by those screens?
Yeah, I suppose it is when you're just standing on the sideline, there's nothing you can do. You're just watching. You kind of can't do anything about what's going on in the course. So it's a different kind of nerves, I think.
Okay, we'll open for questions. Yeah, Bethan.
When did you first get the idea to pair Georgia and Celine together?
Probably had that from our practice day when we came here maybe about a month ago. I just thought that might be a good pairing. They're in a way quite similar personalities. Georgia's great with her long irons, Celine great putter. So I felt certainly for foursomes that would be a good pairing. And then after them doing so well in the foursomes, we thought we'd put them in Celine in the four ball. Celine's been one of the top Europeans on the LPGA this year, makes a lot of birdies on her own ball, so just felt that could be a good pairing.
Over here.
That 6-hole stretch that Suzanne had today from, I think it's starting at 7 to about 12, where's that rank among her stretches in this event?
I think that was a great stretch. I didn't see all of it, but I mean, I heard she made a lot of birdies, which in those conditions, just phenomenal. It really was. I mean, unless you were out there in it, you didn't really realise quite how tough it was. That front nine especially was very exposed. So it was a battle for everyone, and I think, everyone played well. So it was just a tough day.
Yeah, and obviously she didn't earn the point this afternoon, but considering, how many questions she entered this event, having to answer, do you feel like she's answered all of those, and what's your confidence level in her going into tomorrow?
Absolutely. She certainly had no questions to answer to me, maybe to the general public or the wider world, but to me I had 100% confidence in her from the start. So, I think she's played really well. They've combined well with her and Anne van Dam, and, have complete confidence in her going out in the singles.
Catriona, almost every match this afternoon went down to the 18th. What have we learned about these two teams so far that may dictate, what is the decisive factor tomorrow?
I suppose what we've learnt is there's not much to pick between them. They're pretty fine, pretty fairly balanced. Tomorrow's just going to come down to probably the odd shot, the odd putt, just to get the momentum going one way or the other. So, I think it's going to be pretty tight again tomorrow, just like the first 2 days. And like I say, it's just going to come down to that one, maybe long putt, a chip in, just a something. You can see the momentum changes sometimes on the leaderboard. So I think it'll just be a small thing that can change it one way or the other.
Catriona, if you were given 8-8 before this tournament started, would you have been happy with it before Sunday, or had you hoped for more?
I think as a captain, you'd always hope for more. You always want to be going in ahead. Just in my nature, I'd rather be ahead than behind. But tied is good. And as I say, we're probably happier tonight than we were last night. So I think that bodes well for tomorrow.
Just one more. There are some players that haven't contributed with any points yet. I think of my fellow Swedes. How are you tonight motivating the players that have not contributed yet to do it tomorrow?
To be fair, I really couldn't have told you who hadn't contributed points. It's a team event. You see it as a whole team. At the end of the day, the result on Sunday is how the whole team does, not individual records. But I'm sure those individual players know, and that motivate them to go out and get a point tomorrow.
Phil at the back.
Catriona, you kind of touched on it there, but Europe have won 4 times when leading going into the singles, and once in Ireland when tied at 8-all. So how would you rate your chances of winning again tomorrow?
I would rate them pretty good. Yeah, I mean, obviously we won in Ireland. I think the weather's going to be a bit nicer tomorrow, which will be good. But yeah, I think we've got a good chance. 8-all, first 2 days, you can tell there's not much to pick between the teams. So we're going in with a lot of confidence that we can do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Has your singles lineup in your head been changing throughout the day, or did you kind of have a game plan going into the week of where everyone would fall?
We've talked about it and thought about it, but I don't really see many weak players in our team, so it was tough to say, oh, we'll put her here and her here. So I think we've got a good lineup we've just sussed out there.
I was going to ask the same question, but I just wonder, is there a particular strategy you try and put out the players that you think might be bankers early on for points to get some momentum going?
I think you can double guess yourself the whole time. I mean, the singles lineup, I think you just have to go. It's difficult. I mean, you can try and say, oh, well, they're going to do this and they're going to do that. I think you just have to trust your players that your players can go out no matter what position they're in, and they can go out and win their point.